Good morning, everyone. My name is Deckerlink, the trained unprofessional. Welcome back to Password. Last episode, we got to talk to a lot of people on the bus, on our way to a thing. Now, we are at the thing. It sounds not like a lot. Really, the last episode was just me freaking out over nothing a lot. So that's the event. I am so fucked up. I just gotta forget everything. I just gotta forget everything everyone told me, all the hype, all the freaking out, everything except just being like, this shit gets kind of crazy. Just remember they told you so. Before us stood a mansion some 3 stories tall. This was where we were staying, and effectively our home for the month. A smile formed on my face as the excitement started to settle in now that I could see it, with Tyson whistling in awe next to me, echoing how I was feeling. Roswell and Orlando led the charge, excitedly heading towards the front door to the mansion with their bags in tow. This place looks amazing! Look how big it is! Right? This is gonna be great. They hurried on ahead, leaving the rest of us to come to our senses. Big house. Yeah. I was half expecting him to come out with some lewd joke at the setup that Sal had given him. When they didn't come, I came to the assumption that he was just as floored as the rest of us, just to know how big the place was. Haas stepped forward, stretching. As big as it is, I don't see myself living in a palace like this. I'd rather something more modern. Ty shifted the weight of his bag, muttering something under his breath, barely loud enough for me to hear. Makes you feel like a fucking king, I reckon. Not for me, though. Good thing this isn't forever then, Ty. Haas wandered over to the others, with Ty lingering close by, waiting for me. The driver stepped off the bus, making sure we'd all disembarked before tipping their cap. I don't fucking care to look. Oh, see, everyone's got everything, so we'll be heading off. I'll be back in a month. Enjoy your trip. With only a wave, the driver got back on the bus and drove away. I watched as the bus disappeared back among the trees, wondering if I'd be happy or sad to see the bus come back when the trip was over. I must have zoned out. Soon enough, Ty had an arm over my shoulder and started guiding me to the front door to where the others were waiting. Alright, we're here, everyone. Roswell reached out and hit the doorbell before turning back to us. This is gonna be great. There's a pool outside and a gym downstairs. Oh, shit. And in the forest, they think there's a river so we can go fishing, maybe? As Roswell continued on about how much fun we were going to have, the rest of us had turned to the sharply dressed butler that had opened the door to greet us. Master Roswell, I presume. Roswell spun on the spot, startled at the new voice addressing him. Yeah, that's me. Very good. If you'll all follow me inside, we can get you all settled in. Turning on heel, the otter wandered inside, leaving the rest of us to look at one another before looking to Roswell. Should we? As well, yeah. Wow, this place is fancy. We filed into the foyer of the mansion. Oh shit, fuck off. Hey, how Snapchat lights up my entire fucking screen. It's the only app that does that. I need to see if I can turn that shit off. It's obnoxious. Makes me think I'm getting a phone call, but no, it's a snap sent to everyone by a person I don't even talk to. As I was saying, we filed into the foyer of the mansion, the tiles underneath seemingly freshly cleaned from how glossy they looked. Gentlemen, I welcome you to Hammond Manor. The butler gestured toward the stairs leading up before he continued. Bedrooms are on the first floor, with other further facilities on the floor above that. Don't need to tell me twice. I don't need a tour. All eyes were on Tyson as he said it, although the butler seemed to give him a quick once-over before addressing the rest of us again.
You have freedom to roam as you please within the manor, so long as no damage comes of you doing so.
Really? We can go anywhere?
You may. Although there are some rooms that you will find that you cannot access.
Well, sure, but... Orlando trailed off, but my curiosity pushed me forward to finish asking the question. What kinds of rooms are off limits? The otter stroked his mustache, seemingly thinking it over before looking at and talking to me directly.
Mostly those I'm still cleaning, or those that have less than ideal furnishings. To say the least, if you find a bedroom with nothing in it, consider it off limits until they're clean. I've left doors open to the ones prepared for you, so please take your pick.
Ty wandered up the stairs ahead of everyone, lugging his bag. Well, alright, that seems easy. With a place this big, are we meeting back up at some point later?
You shall find the dining room off to your left. Make yourself comfortable, and I shall have refreshments ready if you need them.
Alright! With a slight bow, the otter wandered off in the direction he pointed the dining room to be before disappearing into an adjoining room. That left the rest of us to take our bags up and find rooms. We each had our own, and thankfully they were all fairly close to one another. I dropped my bag off in my room and had a quick look around before wandering back downstairs. Seemed like everyone had already moved on, though, as I was soon standing in the foyer by myself. Okay, where should we go? We got outside, the ground floor, first floor, second floor, and the basement before we could finish exploring. Let's do inside first. The ground floor is the refreshment area and whatever. Let's go top down. Let's go to the second floor. Ooh, lavish and luscious furnishings. As I made my way up the stairs, I could hear some people talking amongst themselves about how they were finding the place. When I entered the room, Haas and Roswell turned to me, flashing me a smile each. There you are, Dave. This place is pretty ritzy, huh? They're so happy. They look so fucking happy. Really is gonna make me feel bad when these people get their fucking skin peeled off of them to use for some demon's condom or some shit. They even have a conservatory. What? It's like a glass sitting room. Oh, neat. Where's that? Dave, you're standing in it right now. I caught Roswell snickering to himself while I looked around the place. Neat. You can't hear how good the acoustics are in here? It'd be great for doing some lines. Acoustics. This room isn't even the coolest thing on this floor. There's a museum, too. Well, I guess it's more like a trophy room. There's a bunch of books, though. Haas and I had met at the start of the year. An aspiring actor, if there ever was one. Rumor floated around about a failed TV star moving into the neighborhood but I never expected anyone like him. The day I ran into Haas, I remember it being a little confusing, but I apparently had good energy as far as improv was concerned, even if I wasn't sure I was doing it right. As for Roswell, we met as kids. I was real into magic tricks, even if his tricks didn't always work. Still, there were just some things he was able to pull off that I couldn't figure out, and that was magical enough for me. Now he's just into the occult stuff. Not really sure why, but he finds it interesting and torments Orlando with it every now and again. Imagine if they had a skeleton on display. What kind? Any, really. Dinosaur would obviously be ideal. What, so you can compare to Sal or Orlando for scale? Hey, it doesn't have to be a dinosaur skeleton. Oh, now that you mention it. There's also a library up here, too. One of those big ones. Looks like it might go across a couple of floors, but I didn't really check. And a small study, too. This place has everything, huh? Wonder why they needed all these things. Who used to live here?
Don't ask me, I don't know. Hold on, so this isn't one of your folks' houses? Or a relative of yours? Well, it could be. I didn't really pay attention to the details, and my parents did most of the organizing anyway.
Okay, but surely you remember whose house this is?
I was just so excited. I didn't really think it'd be that important to commit to memory. Besides, when you get told you can spend a month in a mansion as a vacation, all expenses paid, how much do you really need to be worrying about details if it's organized by your parents?
I guess. Still, maybe there's something around that'd tell us whose place this is.
Well, we could ask the butler. He was expecting you, so I'm sure we're allowed to be here. Yeah, come dinner or we'll know.
Haas sighed, shaking his head and running a hand through his mane.
Well, I'm gonna keep looking around, I think. Me too. There's still a few places I want to look at more thoroughly. What are your plans, Dave?
Dunno. Might go find the others, might go take a nap. Not sure yet.
Well, okay. You know where to find us if you get bored. But with a place this big, I might start looking around somewhere else.
Alright. Worst case scenario, I'll see you both at dinner?
Sounds great to me.
I headed back to the foyer, looking over the banister before taking the stairs down, thinking about what I wanted to do next. Okay, so... the poor fuck, we have him going up and down the stairs doing this top to bottom thing. What's interesting to me is I saw in the update that some of the characters for the build that I downloaded today, which is like the .20, what the fuck is the build? Yeah, it's A0.20. There was like characters like day 10 or some shit. Like, how fucking long does it take for shit to go crazy, go nuts in this place? So who knows? I have no fucking idea, but you know, these visual novels have a tendency to have their first day be like 1,000,000 hours long. So I don't fucking know. I have no fucking clue. Let's check the first motherfucking floor. The first floor was where all the bedrooms were. Each one fitted with his own bathroom, and most, if not all, seemed to be furnished the same. Very nice bed. Looks kind of comfy, if not fucking old. It was almost like a hotel, really. A really strange hotel, given each room seemed to be set up for just a single person. Maybe a few smaller people, given the size of the bed. Dean and Sal were easily the largest in our group, and the bed seemed to be made for people of their size. Not that I was complaining. The idea of space seemed great, if maybe a little lonely. I looked around at a few of the other ones that the butler had pointed out to us. For being off limits, they were easy enough to get to, but not really well marked. But they were bare of even a bed, and soon I found myself returning to my own. My mind wandered towards Roswell, Haas, and Dean. The first two were small enough to consider bunking up with, given the size of the beds, but maybe they just wanted the privacy. As for Dean, well, that was probably a better idea that we weren't sharing a bed just yet. I was still undecided about how fast I should be moving for someone that was looking for a proper date. Sleeping in the same bed seemed to have expectations. I stepped out and looked over the banister, wondering where everyone else was. No idea where Orlando was. Maybe he ended up looking for the kitchen? Wouldn't surprise me if Dean and Sal ended up outside somewhere. Both seemed to like being outside anyway. I think I remembered seeing a set of stairs leading down. Given how out of the way that seemed, maybe Tyson would be down there. Chances were that Roswell and Haas are still upstairs, but who knew where they were after that? I stretched, wondering what I should do next. Alright. Well, the next one would be the ground floor, so let's check it out. Holy crap. Man, if you sat in those middle seats, your ass would be fucking toasty. I wondered, because the fucking fireplace. It's a huge fucking fucking shoot me, just fucking... I wandered into the dining room that the butler had pointed out to us before. The whole place seemed large, to the point it almost seemed silly that only the 7 of us were staying here. Well, 8 if you included the butler.
Psst! Dave!
Looked up from staring at the table to see a swinging door rock back and forth in the wake of a yellow tail disappearing behind it. Yep, Orlando found the kitchen. Orlando?
I found the kitchen!
He gestured broadly, chest puffed out before returning to his normal half-slouch.
It's got anything and everything you could hope for in the way of ingredients. Even the expensive stuff, too.
I gave him a wry smile, unsure of what to make of this information. Caviar?
Sure, but also saffron, truffles, basically anything you want. Cost isn't a factor here.
Neat. Orlando huffed, a small tendril of smoke wafting from one of his nostrils.
I may not have had caviar too much, but it doesn't interest me. Though there are better things to put in your mouth anyway.
As he turned around to start looking in the pantry, listing off a bunch of things he'd suggest instead, I recognized a pattern. They were all baked goods. He was all about the baking, actually. Right from the day we met up until a week ago, where he brought over some cookies from a supposed failed attempt. But Orlando's fails were still wild successes. His bread was the fluffiest from how warm his hands got when kneading, and his sweets were great too.
But I guess if you wanted to try caviar, it's there. At least it's, I guess, ready to go.
Well, maybe. After all, mansion, high life. When might I get another chance?
Exactly! Mansion! Just maybe don't go shoveling it into your mouth if you like it. It's expensive, and I don't think you could cover the bill easily.
I guess you'll just have to get some baking done to make me snacks. That got a laugh out of him, and I chugged along too.
Well, I was planning on using this space to keep my baking skills sharp. Have to keep my practice up if I want to run my own bakery someday.
I looked around the kitchen, noticing that aside from the ingredients that Orlando had pulled from the cupboard, there were snacks and sandwiches laid out. Are these? Orlando followed my fingers. I pointed to the sandwiches.
Oh yeah, these are made by the butler. I think this is lunch.
Should I go grab everyone?
They know where it is, although I think he might have underestimated just how much we might eat. Unless he's hidden the actual lunch somewhere.
Or he hasn't made it yet. There's that too.
Maybe.
I took a sandwich, looking around and taking a bite. Hey, Orlando. Are you the only one out here?
Oh, honey, you're also out, remember?
No, I mean in the kitchen.
Oh, right. I think I saw Dean and Sal head toward the pool while Roswell and Hoss went upstairs.
I nodded, taking another bite of my sandwich.
Gonna keep exploring after you've finished your sandwich? We're still a ways off dinner, so you've got some time to do something at least.
Yeah, I might do. Either that or nap.
A nap? But you slept on the bus.
I don't know. Man, just need a little longer?
Well, okay, but don't sleep too long or you won't sleep tonight. I wouldn't put it past Roswell to try to give you candy either. And that combination is just asking for trouble.
I promise. I'll set an alarm to make sure I don't sleep through dinner.
You're lucky that this place apparently has a dinner bell. Still, set an alarm just in case.
Gotcha. Orlando came in and gave me a quick hug before turning quickly to the pantry again.
As for me, I'll hang out here and make sure Sal and Dean don't eat too many sandwiches when they finally show up. I'm less worried about Hoss and Roswell eating them all.
Just remember you're allowed to have some fun exploring too.
I will. Don't worry. I'll see you when it's time for dinner, or if you get bored looking around.
Alrighty. See ya. With a wave, Orlando saw me off as I made my way out a side door. Fuck. Sure enough, I ended up back in the foyer, wondering where I should go, what I should do next. Well, the ground floor also extends to outside, so let's go there. Hey, look at this courtyard. At the back of the foyer were doors that led out into the backyard. Even as I approached, I could see through the windows that the place was surrounded by woods. Even stepping outside, the mountain air hit me hard in how it was fresh and clean. It smelled earthy and pleasant, reminding me of Dean outside of his normal honey scent. It's pretty great, isn't it? I blinked, having not noticed Dean and Sal standing nearby. Much like me, they seemed to just be taking things in. But Dean approached me, putting an arm over my shoulder. Got a greenhouse out here, too. He pointed out a structure off to the side, which looked like more of a garden shed made out of wood and glass. Haven't had a proper look inside yet, but whatever's growing in there seems to be faring well enough. Mimicking Dean's motion, Sal pointed to a massive green on the other side of the backyard. Hedge maze. Seems big. No sooner were the words out of Sal's mouth that both of us looked to him. He was grinning happily to himself, mouth open as if readying himself to make a lewd comment, as he was prone to do. Sal rolled his eyes and moved his attention elsewhere, leaving me to move Dean's focus elsewhere. So, Dean, remind me, your family's in the lumber business, right? That's the gist of it, yeah. One side of the family, at least. Figured I'd go into it too, eventually. What, an old Smokey is fine with that? Pfft. Gramps used to be a firefighter. Wasn't much for the logging business, but understood you need wood to build houses. Dean's grandfather wasn't the Smokey Bear, or Smokey the Bear, but that's what we call him. Being a firefighter and a bear just makes that nickname kind of stick. Not that his grandfather said anything to dissuade us from using the nickname anyway. How is he these days, anyway? He's good. The whole family's good, really. Don't get to talk to him a whole lot these days. You know how it is, yeah? Have to earn my chops somehow first. I nodded slowly, not really getting it, but Dean seemed sure that's what the correct move was. If earning his chops is what brought him to be out this way, then I'm thankful that's what allowed us to meet. When I looked to Sal, he seemed to be listening in, but as per usual, he didn't seem to be actively contributing to the conversation. What about you, Sal? Wrestling still your thing? Yes. And no. Physical therapy is what I'm going into. Wrestling is a hobby. What, like wrestling on the TV? That sort? Yeah. Hey! Fucking wrestling fan. I'm interested. I met Sal at the gym one night when I was working for a short stint to earn some cash. Turns out being a crocodile comes with a natural talent for submissions. Something to do with death rolls or something. It's good exercise. Prefer another kind of wrestling myself, if I'm being honest. If you know what I mean. I could see Sal's jaw tighten despite Dean laughing off his own joke. I'll leave you guys to it. Dean removed his arm from over my shoulders and saw me off with a wave, with Sal snapping his attention from Dean to me so he could do the same. I wanted back inside to figure out what my options were now. Give me the herm. All that's left is the basement, so let's check there. There were a set of stairs leading back from the ground floor, descending into almost pitch black. Fumbled forward, wandering and reaching around in search of a light switch. This is not a good basement. Holy shit. Suddenly the light came on. Oh, neat. I stopped my sentence midway, suddenly feeling a presence watching me. As I turned to look, a set of hands landed heavily on my shoulders, making me squeak and tense up. Boo. How many boos? The sound I made wasn't manly by any stretch, but as I turned around to look at Tyson, he seemed to be amused enough at my reaction, despite the daggers I was glaring at him. Ty! What? You scared me! Yeah, and it was hilarious. Didn't think I'd get you that good. I grumbled, rubbing my face. You're terrible. I bet you'd turn the lights off on purpose just so you could jump out at me. Me? Nah, never turn them on. Night vision is good enough to see down here fine. The longer I looked him over, the more I noticed that he was trying really hard not to squint. And he looked a little dazed. And you totally didn't just blind yourself to scare me either. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, there's not much down here. You can go back upstairs now. No, I want to see what's down here. You've been down here a while, I think? Sure, fine, whatever. Go nuts looking. Or you could just tell me what's down here if that's a problem. There's a gym. Only thing worth mentioning, anyway. I looked around tied to the other doors leading off. There was no way all these led to a gym and nowhere else. Just a gym, huh? Well, Ty gestured over his shoulder to the other door that looked different to the rest. It was big and looked heavy, but beyond just being a different door to the others, it just looked out of place down here. Probably best if I show you. Come on, Pop. Looks like a safe. Looks like a safe door. Maybe a boiler? I don't know. The room beyond that door was a fairly small one. Main features of it were really just a large door opposite where we came in. If the door we came through was odd compared to the others, this new door was another magnitude more strange. It even had a keypad next to it, as if wanting a combination to even open. Yep, definitely a safe. What kind of a room even is this? Beats me. Looks like a bank vault from a TV show. Even has that keyboard on it. Wants a combination, and nothing I put in gets it to work. Not that I tried hard, the beeping got on my nerves. I wandered closer to have a look. Seemed like the only buttons on it were for letters. Password! Oh! Oh, shit. Well, at least we know it's a word, right? A password? Fucking hell. I guess. I don't know how many letters then. The fuck knows if it's just random letters at that. Pressing the same letter over and over to see if it capped out got me nowhere. Not even an incorrect sounding noise given I hadn't pushed the confirm button. Wow, you weren't kidding. It's just a door. No telling what's on the other side, and frankly, unless it's a buttload of gold we get to keep, I don't care. I guess so. I looked at the door again, eyeing the keypad. Couldn't hurt to have an actual try, right? Maybe. Input password. Okay. Password. Much like what Ty had said, this thing wasn't going to be a simple thing to open. Well. I looked back at Tyson, who seemed to not be paying attention. What? You zoning out? Only thing I care about down here is the gym. You have fun with the door, Dave. What, don't care about me too? You stop that. Fucking brat. I poked my tongue out at him, thinking about the gym. You know, Sal might want to use the gym too, so at least you'd have a gym partner. He's into wrestling, right? Can't I just lift weights in peace? It's not like you had a gym membership back home. Nah, you just let me in sometimes while you were at work. Hey, I had an employee pass. I wasn't gonna use it. Yeah, it shows. Hey! As I huffed, Ty laughed to himself. Sure enough, a smile crept up past my face, having been affected by his laughing. So, what's the plan now? Probably do wait until it's time to eat. The rest of the house doesn't interest me all that much. Not even a little? I'll look around later. Well, okay. Don't worry, I'll be fine. I'll see you at dinner, though. I followed Tyson back out into the basement proper and watched as he continued straight into another room, presumably the gym. As for me, I detoured and wandered back upstairs, pondering what I should do next. Well, all the other choices are fucking exhausted, so we're finished. I yawned, finding my way into my room. As I flopped onto my bed, I patted my stomach, sighing out having eaten something to tide me over until dinner. The nap on the bus was a couple hours, but even then, I didn't sleep well last night. Maybe it was the idea of being far from home for a whole month that had made me uneasy. Maybe it was something else messing with me. Something had been bugging me ever since we pulled up. Something that was prodding me in the back of my mind, as if I'd forgotten something really important. I must have fallen asleep at some point. Every now and again, I'd get dreams. Nothing really all that abnormal. Sure, they were sometimes random, but whose dreams weren't sometimes? I woke to the sound of something echoing around the house. Oh, the dinner bell? As I got up from my bed, I wondered how long I had actually been asleep for. Dave, dinner's ready. Roswell must have been just down the hall, or maybe outside my door. It was hard to tell, given how open this place was. Sound seemed to carry easy enough. Which is probably why I heard the dinner bell as well. For a moment, I thought it was something like an old-fashioned fire alarm. Dinner will happen on the next episode. Thank y'all very much for watching this episode of Password. On the next one, like I just fucking said, sorry, it'll be dinner, hopefully. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I've been the trained up professional, and you are not. Bye, everyone.